Before we descend into 5,000 years of darkness, understand this clearly. This is not theology. This is not propaganda. This is not an attempt to scare you into belief. This is history. Documented, recorded, painted, whispered across civilizations. If you value deep myth and real history without religious pressure, subscribe to Myth of the Blood Moon, turn on notifications, and support this work with a like. Your support keeps these stories alive. Now, let us descend. The first hell, Sumer, 4,000 years ago. The concept of hell does not begin with Christianity. It begins in ancient Sumer, in modern Iraq, long before the pyramids. The Sumerians believed that all the dead went to the same place, 𝑘™. No judgment, no reward, no escape. Kings, slaves, heroes, criminals, all descended into the same house of dust and shadow. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, the dead eat clay. They wear feathers like birds. They exist, but barely live. The worst fate was not fire. The worst fate was to be forgotten. This was the first hell, not torture, but meaninglessness. Egypt and the birth of judgment. Egypt changed everything. Here, the afterlife became a trial. After death, the soul entered the Duat, a dangerous underworld filled with gates, demons, fire, and rivers. At the center stood the weighing of the heart. Your heart was placed on a scale. On the other side, the feather of truth. If your heart was heavier, filled with sin, it was devoured by Ammit, the soul eater. This meant total annihilation, not torture. Oblivion. Egypt introduced the idea that how you live determines what happens after death. This concept would shape every religion that followed. Greece, Rome, and punishment that fits the crime. The Greeks imagined the underworld as a layered realm. At first, Hades was a shadow world like Sumer. But over time, punishment became personal. Tantalus, eternal hunger. Sisyphus, endless labor. Traitors, eternal suffering. Plato introduced moral judgment. Virgil mapped hell's rivers, gates, and prisons. And Tartarus became the prison of the damned. This is where hell became organized. Judaism and the fire of Gehenna. Early Judaism had almost no hell. Everyone went to Sheol, a quiet land of shadows. But after Persian influence and exile, something new emerged. Resurrection, judgment, fire. Gehenna, once a real valley of sacrifice, became a symbol of destruction. Some Jewish texts taught, the wicked are burned and erased, not tortured forever. This idea would deeply influence Christianity. Christianity and the eternal inferno. Early Christianity debated hell fiercely. Some believed all souls would eventually be purified. But one man changed everything. Augustine of Hippo. He declared, hell is eternal. Punishment is conscious. Escape is impossible. This view became official Western doctrine. Hell was now fire without end, pain without relief, hope without existence. Hell became a weapon of control, fear, and obedience. Islamic Jahannam. Islam introduced Jahannam, a structured hell with 7 levels. Boiling water, burning skin, chains, angels of punishment. But with a difference. Sinful Muslims may eventually be released. Unbelievers remain forever. Hell exists to enforce divine justice, not chaos. Buddhist and Hindu Naraka. In the East, hell is not eternal. In Hinduism and Buddhism, Naraka is a temporary realm of correction. Souls suffer based on karma, then are reborn. Punishment ends. The cycle continues. Hell is not vengeance, it is education through suffering. Dante and the 9 Circles. In the 14th century, one man reshaped hell forever. Dante Alighieri. He divided sin into 9 circles. Lust, greed, violence, fraud, treachery. Satan was no king. He was frozen, trapped, powerless. Dante's hell is not God's rage. It is human sin made eternal. This image still defines hell today. Medieval art and terror. Churches filled their walls with screaming souls. Bosch painted demons devouring men. Hell became visual trauma. People didn't just hear about hell. They grew up inside its images. Fear became education. Reformation and political hell. The Reformation erased purgatory. Now you were either saved forever or damned instantly. Calvin taught predestination. Edwards preached terror. Catholics and Protestants sent each other to hell in propaganda. Hell fueled wars. Hell justified executions. Hell ruled Europe. Victorian ghosts and hell visits. The 1800s saw spiritualism surge. People claimed to visit the dead. Some described dark realms. Others promised universal salvation. Science began investigating hell and exposing fraud. Doubt entered the fire. Modern psychology and the death of the literal hell. Freud called hell projection. Jung called it the shadow self. Modern culture turned hell into movies, games, metaphors, dark comedy. Surveys now show even believers struggle with eternal torture. Hell is dying as a place and surviving as a psychological state. What we actually know, here is what history proves. Every civilization created a hell. Each version reflects its culture. Fear of punishment is universal. Justice beyond death is a human obsession. Hell evolved. It was shaped. It was edited by time. Whether hell exists or not, humans made it real through belief. And belief alone shaped empires. If hell does not exist, humanity has tortured itself with fear for 5,000 years. If hell does exist, the scale of suffering beyond death is greater than all wars combined. Whichever is true, hell changed civilization forever. This was Myth of the Blood Moon. If this descent into the true history of hell touched something in you, like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment telling me where you're watching from. More forbidden history is coming. We have only begun.